Welcome to Julie the Thrifty Designer. Today, I got a little of an arts and craft thing for you to do, that I'm going to do. I'm going to transform a wreath like this into something that I saw on Pinterest. So stay tuned and see what it'll look like. I'm going to show you what I've got. Now this wreath I got from Amazon. It's just one of their cheap ones. There's nothing amazing about it. And then what I did was took my garland I have of the ivy and I just weaved it in and out of it, in and out to give it a new and fresher texture and look so that we have not just the boxwood. And I think it's going to be pretty. This was, I think, a 17 or 18 inch wreath. I really was wishing I could get bigger, but when it got bigger, I just didn't have the funds to get a bigger one. And where I'm going to put it, this size turned out to be the right size anyway. So let's begin, shall we? All right, I'm going to show you more uses for those paper plates, just cheap paper plates. Well, because of where I want to hang this wreath, I actually do not want to use real plates because real plates could fall off of this and break. And I want the illusion of what my Pinterest inspiration is like without worrying about it breaking. So I'm going to insert right here a picture of my inspiration. So what I'm going to show you now is I just have a picture of a plate of a very beautiful rose, and I've had it hanging on my wall. Now, if you want to hang your wreath on a wall and you know no one is going to be bumping it and all of that, and then you would rather have the real plates, then go to the thrift store for inexpensive. Like this one was $1.29 and half price for me. And I just simply picked up these holders, and it holds it solid. But I was afraid because where I'm putting this is on my sliding patio door. And I just thought for the lightweight of this wreath and the heaviness of this, that it could just throw it off balance and it could fall and land on the floor and then break my plates, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to still get the illusion of what I want using paper plates. So I'm using the blue ones that I have been using because I'm still loving my blue and white china. And then I had some left over from, I think, Easter last year. It's very spring. And since I'm going to start introducing ourselves to spring, I thought I would use these in this. So my inspiration is going to be a little bit different. I'm making it my own from the Pinterest one. So let's see what we can make this look like. Okay, so now what I have got is zip ties. Now you could hot glue it. You can use wire, but I'm using what I have at the moment. And so for the moment, I am going to just use a simple zip tie. I have a whole box of them here, and I chose clear, so maybe it won't show as much. So what I'm going to do is I just found something that's sharp. This is just a thermometer. But I'm just going to find a spot that I think that the zip tie will be least seen. And I'm going to poke a hole like there, and then maybe an inch or so over, so we'll hold it. And the nice thing with being paper plates, this isn't going to hurt it, and you know this is all you're going to use. And then I'm going to poke, oh, wait a second, I'm going to come from behind, poke it through, run it over, poke it through again. Now you can use, like I said, anything you want. Then I'm just going to pick a spot on my wreath here, and I am going to maneuver all of it and just take that little zip tie. And if I don't like where it is, I can always cut it and move it again. And I'm going to just put my plate on can't twist it around. I see I started to rip it. So be careful. Don't, you know, you might want to figure out, I might want to put another one on the other side, but we'll see how one works. We're doing this together. This is my idea. We're going to see if it actually works. But I'm going to put the other ones on. I don't think I need to show you how to do every one of them, but we're going to alternate and see what we come up with. And I'll show you that when I come back. All right, as you can see, I've got them on here, and I did cross from there. Well, I ended up taking the other ones off because I realized I needed to just put them in the middle because they kept flopping up. So I took the other ones off and just grabbed a couple of other paper plates. That's a good thing about paper plates, I guess. They're cheap and disposable. And so all I've done is just put them on like that. Now I have this one, and this is the square one from the 3-tiered things, and I was debating whether or not I really wanted to add it, but all I have is one more round one this same size. I will see how it comes at the end. But now I have already taken the liberty, because I am not very good at making bows, and I didn't have any nice, beautiful fabric or ribbon. So what I actually had done was cut off, to get the blue I wanted, the straps from one of these. This was just a trade show grocery bag, and I really didn't use it, and I thought it's the perfect shade of blue, so I used the straps off of it and created this bow. Now these beautiful lace ribbon here, I actually got from the Dollar Tree. Look at that. Isn't that just so sweet? And so I thought I would just put it right in there, and we'll see how this turns out. Again, I'm just zip tying it around, and we'll see how I can make it work. Okay, so I can't put the bow around the whole wreath like this, because then the bow sits the wrong kind of crooked than what I wanted. So this is one, and this is the okay, try that again. This is the way I'm gonna have to put it on. And the reason I use zip ties is because, you know, as seasons change, and I want it to be something different, I can cut the zip ties and put it differently with different ribbon or different paper plates. And that's why I chose this. And I would use wire, but I don't have any, and I don't know where it is. So I just tightened it really close around just some of these branches here. And I think it's cute. Now, you can definitely see a difference from my inspiration. My inspiration does look more richer and classier and much more elegant because, well, they used better quality things. And and they had a much bigger wreath. Their wreath was like a 24 to a 24 inch at least to 26-inch wreath, whatever, where this is only a 17-inch, and then they used the same size plates, and because it was so much bigger, they could put a whole lot more plates on there. And I'll grant you, real plates would have been a whole lot prettier. And maybe if I'd have just stayed with the blue and white, and maybe I've got these two lined up instead of a little more off. But I think when I get this in place and I show you what it looks like, I think you'll see that it really is quite cute. And it's an imposter, and it's definitely not as pretty, but it's a very inexpensive dupe. This wreath was like $15, I think, on Amazon, which probably could find it cheaper somewhere else. Maybe not. It's hard to tell. And then they're the paper plates, so they don't hardly cost anything. You know, you go pick out your favorite plates. And then it was dollar store ribbon, and then the ribbon from those bags. And it's the perfect shade of blue that I really love. So now what I'm going to do is show you where I'm putting it, and then we'll decide, should I put this one on and maybe the other round one over here, or does it need it? I can't decide if it's just a little too much or just one in the middle. It takes away from the inspiration, but I don't know. It's just kind of sweet, and maybe we'll look into it and see what it does. So here's what it looks like hanging up at my door window. I think it's sweet, although I'm finding I definitely like the inspiration better. And maybe I need to work and tweak this a whole lot more than I've just done. But I think it has some essence to the inspiration with other colors, and maybe it does need a little bit more of those white little plastic plates. Well, you can see what I decided to do was go ahead and add that little triangle or square shaped plastic little doily looking plate on there. I rearranged some of the plates. They look too lined up, and now they kind of look misshapen. So I'm kind of having a problem with this, but I'm going to go ahead and show you what I have done, and maybe you all can go ahead and get the bigger, it does need the bigger wreath to make it work better. I think this one's probably just a little too small, but maybe this will give you some ideas on how you can make your own look bigger and better. I think it's still very cottage and very sweet. Well, I guess for me, like I said, we were doing it in real time as I was filming and making it. I guess for me, maybe what's thrown it off from the inspiration is the colored plates. Maybe if I'd have just used all blue ones, it wouldn't have had maybe this contrast that kind of throws it from the inspiration. And I'm also trying to get it to line up on a much smaller wreath. So for me, I like it, but it doesn't quite have the high-end dupe that I was hoping it was going to look like. But maybe you all can still get your idea on making yours, and you can improve upon what I have done. I don't mind it. I mean, it's cute. Maybe you can actually find plastic plates that look more real than even the paper ones. I mean, I know I've had some success with these looking really good in regular decorating, but see, this is a sliding door, and it opens and closes, and it sometimes it'll get to swinging and stuff as I open and close it. It stays on there, but it's also, everything I've put on it was very lightweight. So I decided paper plates was best in case the weight of it just made it bounce and fall off. So that's why I chose the paper plates. I think it looks charming. It has that English cottage, just kind of fun. The beginning of spring. You know, we're still in February, and I'm not really wanting to decorate totally for spring yet, at least till next month. But I'm also on YouTube, and so I'm at least trying to introduce a little bit of spring. I'm still kind of enjoying my winter look. I already took down Valentine's because, well, I wanted to go back to my winter feel. But this is the introduction, and I'm starting to see some flowers, and I'm starting to think, ooh, I like the idea of it. So we'll see what I start coming up with. Got all those lovely dishes that I had gotten from the thrift store just recently, and we're going to start using those here and there in some spots. So hopefully I will come up with some things you like. This is meant as an inspiration. I will probably start working on it throughout the next week or so, maybe tweaking it, maybe go, that's what I did wrong. And if I figure it out, I will make sure I show you on another video what I did different to make it look better. But I hope you get an idea how you can take very inexpensive things. So you could probably get a wreath of different various types from the thrift store, you know, things like that, and use paper plates or plastic plates. whatever. You can glue it on. In my case, I just zip tied it. You can wire them on. Figure out how to attach them if you want it to be totally permanent. I wanted to be able to adjust them or move them or change them up for the seasons if I so desired. I like how it looks. Just needs to be tweaked a little bit more. So I think it's got the semi look of my inspiration. It's my cheap, inexpensive dupe. Well, I got to looking at it and I decided to tweak it a little bit more by adding in these little lacy looking plates that came from the 3-tier stack. I kind of made it so I only have one now instead of 2, and it's kind of cute what I did with it. And I added it to it, but the nice thing is if I decide, no, I don't like it, I can take them off and make it again back into the 3-tier tray. I really like the look, but on the other hand, since the wreath really wasn't big enough for this, there's not enough of the wreath actually showing. Right now I don't have enough. I'm going to have to dig around and look for them. So I have another plant. I got to find more, and I'm not going to do it in this episode, but I think what really I need to do is figure out how to insert a bunch of those all the way around and make them stay, and I think that way it will create the bigger wreath that is needed. So I may be remaking this at some point. Right now, I'm just gonna kind of leave it now as an inspiration for you. I do like how it looks. It's just a little too crowded for the size. Yet when I didn't have the little lacy looking ones on there, it didn't look right. So I think my biggest problem is the size of the wreath. So I'm going to advise, if you decide to do this, go for the bigger wreath to make it actually work. This, I don't remember, it was 15 inch, 17 inch, I don't know, somewhere around there is what this wreath was. Not big enough to do this project. So look for a bigger wreath or find more stuff that you could stick in there and make it bigger. I have to dig around and hunt for mine. So I have never organized since I've been in this house. When I moved in, the contractors had everything and I couldn't put things away. Then they scammed me, and my sister-in-law moved in, and she was in the bedroom that was supposed to be my storage room. And then she moved out this last year and moved her to Tennessee. And then we were working on Tony's house, trying to sell his house. And it's just constantly something was coming up, and I was not able to ever organize. I've been in this house for almost 2 years, and I still have not unpacked from my old house. And I am just always a mess trying to figure out where things are. So eventually, I don't know when, get the energy and the strength to really make the house organized the way I want it and finish the projects. It takes money, time, energy, all of which I'm kind of short on. But meanwhile, we'll do little projects and little things I can when I find more beautiful things like, hey, let's give that a try. So give this a try. Look for the bigger wreath because it will look better. And I like, because if I dropped it, not gonna hurt anything, not a thing. And it's worth it. And if this is not your thing, I was thinking maybe if you got picture frames, picture frames in this type of size or even smaller, and put your favorite pictures in it, or family heirloom pictures like my last episode of what to do with family pictures. Frame them and put them on a wreath. That's a fun way to do that. It's a way to display your family photos without it being just expected in a photo album or all just your family pictures on a wall. This could be a creative way. Ideas are endless that you might be able to come up with. So look around and see what you might like. to do. I hope that this was an inspiration for you. So I'm just going to say to all of you, thank you so much for watching. And y'all take care, and God bless, and happy decorating, crafting. Be creative. Make your home your home. I varied from my inspiration, and you can vary from mine. Make it your colors, your themes, and all that. Have a great time with it. So I love y'all. Mwah! Until we meet again, you take care. Bye for now.